Recently, I was reading There Is No Planet B, and I felt like I had my mind blown on what solar energy is and is not capable of. Firstly, solar is obviously one of our best sources of renewable energy just based on the sheer amount of energy that the sun has and how reliable that sunlight is compared to other sources. But there are two huge problems with all renewable energy: our constant energy usage growth and how we have historically used new energy sources. Hi, I'm Nathan, someone who looks forward to being a dad that freaks out when anyone touches the thermostat, and this is Save Money, Save the Planet. So first, let's talk about the constant usage growth. If we look at the energy usage in the US provided by the EIA, then our future looks kind of rosy. Our energy usage seems to have leveled off, so all we have to do is replace all energy generation with renewable sources, and we can stop worrying. Unfortunately, the world scenario is a lot more entangled. Since your car, computer, phone, and, well, pretty much everything you own has some component made in another country, then we really need to look at energy from a global scale. When we do that, we can see that our energy has been growing lately at an average rate of 2.4% per year. The author of this book hypothesized what our most efficient solar panels may one day look like, and how many we would need each year in order to meet the growing energy demands. So what was the result? In 300 years, we will have covered every inch of land with solar panels. Yikes. So, I guess we can just replace our energy generation with renewable sources, bury our heads in the sand, and gamble that that's enough. But I'm not really the gambling type, to be honest. Oh hey, can all my non-gamblers out there please hit the like button? Thanks. And here's where I keep getting hung up. Why does our energy usage need to grow continuously? I can understand growth which is linked with general population growth and countries achieving a higher standard of living. After all, I don't just want a sustainable planet, I want to be comfortable in that sustainable planet. But it's when growth is just there for growth's sake that I have a problem. For instance, if my iPhone still works great, but a new model was released which can run slightly faster, so I rush out to buy it, all while paying no attention to the extra energy that had to go into making that new phone and shipping it to me. Now that is the energy growth that I take issue with. And unfortunately, the industrial sector is responsible for a whopping 54% of the US's energy usage. And come on, how much of that is making stuff that we honestly need? Sure, some of that energy goes to things like food preparation, but some of it also goes to junk, like fidget spinners. Something that a person might play with a handful of times and then throw it away. Oh, quick tangent. Do you realize that we possibly sold over 19 million fidget spinners in 2017? Why? Why do we spend all of that precious energy making stuff that entertains us for such a short time? Well, luckily this is fixable, and this is why we really need to work in some way to cap our energy usage. Just like how we budget our income and decide what items we should and should not spend money on, we need to have an energy budget, both at the personal and the community level. If we do that, then many people will naturally adjust to spend their energy only on the things which they feel have a true value. Heck, I'm willing to bet that your power company sends you regular reports on your energy usage. But when's the last time that you actually even looked at the numbers? When's the last time that you thought about where you were using your energy and if you wanted to keep using it there? Or did you just pay the bill and move on with your life? But they could actually do even more. My power company recently sent me a challenge for 3 days to limit our energy usage and told us that we would be rated against our neighbors. Now, I am proud to say that my wife and I scored in the top 25%. But actually, that's not the point. The point is that this challenge helped me learn that I'm okay with setting the thermostat at 78 degrees Fahrenheit between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Also, it helped me realize that if I'm home all day, I'm okay with just turning off the AC, opening my windows, and running the fan. So as a result of that challenge day, my energy usage went from 2,100 kilowatts in the second half of 2020 to 1,500 kilowatts in the second half of 2021. That is a 29% reduction of my emissions from electricity and it saved me about $20 a month. Not because I bought some new contraption or there was some huge breakthrough in technology. No, just because someone came up to me and said, "I bet you can do better." These skills don't stop being useful when we upgrade to renewables either. When you put solar on your home, then you can just start budgeting around how much energy you put into the grid versus how much you draw from it. This will be important because we have some people who live in regions where sunlight is plentiful, while others live in places where that's not the case. So, it's likely that we'll end up having to move energy from the high production areas to the low production ones. But we can't do that if people just consume all the energy that they produce without a second thought. The second issue brought up by There Is No Planet B was how we've historically used new sources of energy. Introduction of new sources has very rarely led to reduction of old sources of energy. So, while we scale up our renewable energy sources, we really need to stop and think about what is happening with our fossil fuels. Did we actually stop fracking for natural gas? Or are we still doing it just as much and simply shipping all natural gas to a poorer country? The time will almost definitely come when we'll have to either vote to shut down coal mines and gas wells, or we'll need to increase the tax rate on them to such an absurdly high rate that they decide it's more profitable to just stop production. And I know, someone in your life will likely try to say, "Hey man, just let the free market decide when to switch to renewables." Well, next time that they say that, show them this graph and explain to them how the free market failed to use less coal, crude oil, and natural gas, despite knowing since 1980 that these sources were killing the planet. So I say, let's give the market a bit of a nudge this time. Now hopefully you're ready to use your vote in the future to help the world shift to sustainable energy sources and shut down fossil fuel sources. If so, good on you. In the meantime, if you're looking to start practicing stuff which will keep your personal energy usage down, then here are a couple tips. And hey, we even get to save money along the way, which is what we're all about around here. If you're a homeowner, then you may be able to schedule a free energy audit through your utility company. You also want to ensure that your current appliances are energy efficient. Look up their usage and compare with how stuff listed on EnergyStar.gov performs. If you purchase something on that site, then you should be able to get a federal rebate. Adjust your water heater to 120 degrees Fahrenheit rather than the normal 140 degrees. Wash your clothes on cold and use air drying instead of a dryer. Replace the air filter in your AC unit annually so that it doesn't have to work too hard. Only run your dishwasher when it's full and use the air dry mode instead of the heat dry mode if you have it. Set your thermostat to a warmer temperature in the summer and a cooler temperature in the winter. Many people recommend 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter and 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. Check your insulation and ensure that it's working properly. If you live in an apartment, then you can ensure that your windows are properly sealed. Install ceiling fans and use them so that your AC or heat doesn't need to be set at such an extreme temperature. Turn off lights for rooms that you're not currently in. And finally, if your home is heated through electric resistance, then consider switching to a heat pump instead. Now lastly, I want you to stop and think. Who else in your life could benefit from hearing these tips? Well, send this video to them. Because 2 people lowering their electricity usage will be way more useful than just one. In fact, it's twice as effective. That's not actually hard math. Alright, that's all for this video. Now go make a difference today.